Chapter 2.1 of the 9/11 Commission Report. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. This reading by Carl Manchester, 2008. The 9/11 Commission Report. Chapter 2. The Foundation of the New Terrorism. 2.1. A Declaration of War. Note: Islamic names often do not follow the Western practice of the consistent use of surnames. Given the variety of names we mention, we choose to refer to individuals by the last word in the names by which they are known. Nawaf al-Hazmi as Hazmi, for instance, omitting the article al that would be part of their name in their own societies. We generally make an exception for the more familiar English usage of bin as part of a last name, as in Bin Laden. Further, there is no universally accepted way to transliterate Arabic words and names into English. We have relied on a mix of common sense, the sound of the name in Arabic, and common usage in source materials, the press, or government documents. When we quote from a source document, we use its transliteration, for example, ALQIDA instead of ALQAEDA. End note. In February 1998, the 40-year-old Saudi exile Osama bin Laden and a fugitive Egyptian physician, Ayman al-Zawahiri, arranged from their Afghan headquarters for an Arabic newspaper in London to publish what they termed a fatwa, issued in the name of a World Islamic Front. A fatwa is normally an interpretation of Islamic law by a respected Islamic authority, but neither bin Laden, Zawahiri, nor the three others who signed this statement were scholars of Islamic law. Claiming that America had declared war against God and his messenger, they called for the murders of any American anywhere on earth as the, quote, individual duty for every Muslim who can do it in any country in which it is possible to do it. End quote. Footnote. Text of World Islamic Front statement urging jihad against Jews and Crusaders. Al-Quds Al-Arabi, February the 23rd, 1998. Translation by the Foreign Broadcast Information Service, which was published for a large Arab world audience and signed by Osama bin Laden, Ayman al-Zawahiri, Emir of the Egyptian Islamic Jihad, Abu Yasir Rifai Ahmed Taha, leader of the Egyptian Islamic Group, Mir Hamza, secretary of the Jamiat ul-Ulama-i Pakistan, and Fazlul Rahman, head of the jihad movement in Bangladesh. End footnote. 3 months later, when interviewed in Afghanistan by ABC TV, bin Laden enlarged on these themes. Footnote. Hunting bin Laden, PBS Frontline, broadcast May 1998. End footnote. He claimed it was more important for Muslims to kill Americans than to kill other infidels. It is far better for anyone to kill a single American soldier than to squander his efforts on other activities, he said. Asked whether he approved of terrorism and of attacks on civilians, he replied, "We believe that the worst thieves in the world today and the worst terrorists are the Americans. Nothing could stop you except perhaps retaliation in kind. We do not have to differentiate between military or civilian. As far as we are concerned, they are all targets." Though novel for its open endorsement of indiscriminate killing, bin Laden's 1998 declaration was only the latest in the long series of his public and private calls since 1992 that singled out the United States for attack. In August 1996, bin Laden had issued his own self-styled fatwa, calling on Muslims to drive American soldiers out of Saudi Arabia. The long, disjointed document condemned the Saudi monarchy for allowing the presence of an army of infidels in a land with the sites most sacred to Islam, and celebrated recent suicide bombings of American military facilities in the kingdom. It praised the 1983 suicide bombing in Beirut that killed 241 US Marines, the 1992 bombing in Aden, and especially the 1993 firefight in Somalia after which the United States, quote, left the area carrying disappointment, humiliation, defeat, and your dead with you. End quote. Footnote: Osama bin Laden, Declaration of War against the Americans occupying the land of the two holy places, August 23rd, 1996. Translated. End footnote. Bin Laden said in his ABC interview that he and his followers had been preparing in Somalia for another long struggle, like that against the Soviets in Afghanistan, but, quote, the United States rushed out of Somalia in shame and disgrace, end quote. Citing the Soviet Army's withdrawal from Afghanistan as proof that a ragged army of dedicated Muslims could overcome a superpower, he told the interviewer, quote, we are certain that we shall, with the grace of Allah, prevail over the Americans, end quote. He went on to warn that, quote, if the present injustice continues, it will inevitably move the battle to American soil, end quote. Footnote: Hunting bin Laden, PBS Frontline, broadcast May 1998. End footnote. Plans to attack the United States were developed with unwavering single-mindedness throughout the 1990s. Bin Laden saw himself as called, quote, to follow in the footsteps of the messenger and to communicate his message to all nations, end quote. Footnote: Hunting bin Laden, PBS Frontline, broadcast May 1998. End footnote. And to serve as the rallying point and organizer of a new kind of war to destroy America and bring the world to Islam. End of chapter 2.1.